Salam Media.
The time is just gone 9:54 a.m. We continue as we wind down this morning's broadcast of News and Views, and we are now going across to be joined by Desmond Mathew. Now, there is a picket that is planned on the 15th of June outside the engine fuel terminal starting at 9:30 a.m. We're talking about Mpumalanga, and there is a call for people to wear a red, and also at the same time, the picket aimed at hazardous trucks, emissions of benzene, and resulting in cancer and leukemia, and also other issues with regard to trucks and the damage that is being done to the infrastructure. Desmond, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Good morning and good morning to the listeners.
Yes, let's just understand the picketing, and I know that trucks are obviously at the center of this picket. We've heard about all these emissions, about truck accidents, about damage to infrastructure. Tell us more, Desmond.
Well, look, the engine refinery blew up on the 4th of December 2020. And ever since then, it has not been operational. And it will cost them millions of rands to bring it back to its original form. And they are not going to do that. But what they want to do is import petrol and other products like diesel, paraffin, jet fuel, and all that into South Africa from other parts of the world, which will result in an increase in trucks on our roads. So they're looking at converting the engine refinery into storage facilities, meaning you're bringing in products into the refinery, and that will come through trucks. And also it'll be exporting the products from trucks. This will happen, and they're looking at bringing in over 2,000 trucks. We already got problems with trucks all over the show in South Durban. One of the areas that's been destroyed and decayed completely is the Clearwood area, which is 180 years old, of people who grew up there and have lived there. They've had to leave their houses, sell their houses, and get out of it. The area of Merebank, Wentworth, Treasure Beach, and the Bluff, there's over 100,000 people living there. And what this will result in is that there'll be traffic jams. 2,000 trucks is already, it will increase the traffic jams that we're already experiencing on our residential roads. But more critically, it'll add to the problems already we're experiencing. And on the issue of high levels of cancer and leukemia and asthma, that has been well documented in various studies done in South Durban since 2002, and a further study completed in 2007 by government, as well as the industry paid a third for that study. So we know that the rate of cancer and leukemia and asthma is pretty high in the area. We also have to pay for it. And what this will do is, if they bring in the storage facilities, it means that there'll be higher emissions of benzene, which is a well-known carcinogenic which causes cancer. And we are worried about that, but we're more worried about the truck accidents on our roads. There are thousands of truck accidents every year, and thousands of people are killed, including our school children. Now, in our area, we've got about over 40 primary schools and high schools put together. And most of the children come in from all over through taxis, or they even walk to school because of the high unemployment rate. Parents just don't have the money. So you can imagine if these trucks are on our road and there are accidents, what's going to happen? We still do not have an emergency plan, an escape route. So if something happens, we don't have an emergency plan to alert the citizens of South Durban, of Merebank. And now you want to increase the added burden and the risk and place it onto local communities. We got wind of this only last week through the National Energy Regulator, who wants to license engine to store, to have more storage tanks in the area. And we are very adamant that we do not accept increasing storage facilities in local communities, whilst we accept that there's a need to store refined products, but it can't be next to people's homes. It should be moved away to an area far from people's homes because of the impact of the volatile organic compounds like benzene, toluene, and xylene, and other volatile. There's over 60 volatile organic compounds, and we're worried about that.
Yes, now you are obviously encouraging people to wear a red T-shirt on that day. You have sought permission from the Metro Police to picket, and at the same time calling on people to come and support this picket. And at the end of the day, environmental awareness and environmental damage and environmental consequences are of huge concern. In fact, just this morning, we heard on another media platform. In fact, I heard talking about a big stink that is now returning to Gauteng, and this is due to winds blowing in from Mpumalanga, and this is resulting in unhealthy air quality. And yeah, again, we find that when it comes to environment and the protection of the environment, this is absolutely important. This is crucial. This is critical, Desmond.
It certainly is. And what happens is that the poor bear the burden of this environmental destruction that's been meted out and emitted through the various polluting companies. Now, in the issue of the high fires, during the winter months, it gets worse because all it does, the air is heavy. So all the pollution does is go up and come right down onto communities. And I know in the past when we spoke to government and the issue and we spoke to the industry, they blame the people burning coal. But that's only a small fraction of it. What they should really look at is that there should never be any coal burnt during the winter months. They should actually issue a red alert. It was done previously in South Durban. We managed to get rid of the coal. We said phase out the dirty fuel like coal. I mean, we know that coal is the worst polluter, and the World Health Organization has stated repeatedly in the scientific journal, in the medical journal, that that pollution is the biggest killer of people, whether in South Africa or anywhere else in the world. We've seen the deaths in Durban, and so in the Haifa, where I've also visited repeatedly, I've been in there, I've seen the high levels of pollution. Government have provided electricity and moved to a just transition by developing solar panels, and all that. We would not have pollution on the Haifa, but there's no political will, and that is lacking. We've seen that now that the Indian refinery and the Shell and BP refinery in Durban is shut down since 2020. The air is clean. There's nobody complaining. There's nobody coughing. And that's what needs to be done on the Highveld as well. That they should be able to move away from coal and move to cleaner energy as soon as possible, which will create jobs, which will be socially owned by the people, and therefore you distribute it to each and every one so that people create jobs in their local communities, and you can put up practically a solar farm overnight in those local communities, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. Solar panels and all that have gone down drastically from what it initially was in the beginning. We could create that, we could develop it in our country. And we don't need to burden people with high levels of pollution that are creating respiratory illnesses and killing people. I think the time is right now for the country, our country, that has signed the Paris Accord and the Glasgow Agreement and have signed a whole lot of international treaties to move away from fossil fuel and to start moving to cleaner energy that is available, and move to that and develop it. And at the same time, you will create jobs, you will defeat poverty. That is the right way to go about it, and that is needed. But it needs the government to move there. And we need to have ministers that do not believe in that, to move out of government and allow people with fresh minds to go into government that will secure cleaner energy, that will provide a healthy environment for people. Yes, our people need access to energy. They do not need pollution to add to their health problems that they're experiencing. And the VAR is one area that they should declare a no-go zone and start moving away, that no more dirty industries gets developed in the area, in Gauteng and other areas of the VAR, and start moving to a just transition, start creating the type of industry that will provide access at a much more cheaper rate, but also ensure that people are not burdened with the health problem.
Well, Desmond, thank you very much for that, for unpacking what you have. We wish you well at the picket as well. And we definitely will follow developments. And please take care, look after yourself, and please be safe.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, and much appreciated. Thanks for listening.
Desmond Mathew joining us this morning, and with that, we heading towards the end of this morning's broadcast of News and Views. I'll be back with you once again tomorrow, Friday, Juma Inspirations. But until then, from myself and the team, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.